Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Spurs Live. It's myself and Josh um, in the Spurs Live podcast or whatever. I actually don't know what this intro is, but we're going to get straight into it. I'll tell you what, I'm actually kind of looking forward to doing this video because the last, thing 2 or 3 games, it's all really been very negative, but I think we could have a bit of positivity in this live stream. But before we start, make sure to smash the subscribe button, drop a like on this video, and without further ado, let's get straight into it. So, Josh, how are you doing and how are you feeling after that 3-1 smashing performance versus Nottingham Forest?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, mate. It's more relieved, if anything.
Yeah.
Like you said, the past couple of weeks have been a bit ropey, haven't they?
Mhm.
And I think this has gone from being a really competitive top four race to, I think both teams are just sort of, if it was a race, both teams have stumbled every few steps. Like it's us and
Yeah.
Villa. Villa have taken 5 out of their last 15 points. They've really let us off
Hmm.
because we're now in fourth, aren't we, on goal difference with the game in hand now.
Yeah.
But a tough run of fixtures coming up. But we're in the driving seat once again, and we really shouldn't be. I mean, it's been that bad between us and Villa the last few weeks that United, if they weren't so abysmal and just throwing away, 7 points in a week from the 90th minute, they could have easily got back into this top four race. But
Yeah.
for once, we've capitalised, which is a nice feeling.
Exactly. Well, as you said there, Villa have taken only 5 points from their last 5 games, whilst Tottenham Tottenham have won 3 games and drawn one, and obviously lost one in the last 5 games.
Mm,
On form, Tottenham are the better team, but you've got to remember as well as the fact that the performance. Let's talk about the performance today. Yesterday, sorry. The
mm,
performance for me, I'll start off. For me personally, I think behind us. But before we start the live stream, you said it was a game of two halves, and it was literally like that. I agree with you in terms of there was times where you were like, all right, Tottenham, come on, let's get goals, let's get goals. But then at times you were like, all right, Nottingham Forest are looking a little bit dangerous here. But what were your thoughts, of that game last night?
I mean, we talk about a game of two halves. It was a game of two midfields, wasn't it, really?
Mhm.
You had Biss and Sarr, and then Hojberg and Bentancur. Obviously, Bentancur's been struggling for form recently. He's been sort of in and out of the side since he's come back from injury. I mean, I don't think
Yeah,
any of us think he's been fully fit, really. Um, and obviously, Hojberg lost his place early on to Bissouma and has struggled for minutes. And he's obviously going to leave at the end of the season, um, which is
yeah,
understandable. And I think that makes sense for him and for us if he's not going to play. But he came in, and yesterday I thought he steadied the ship, Hojberg. I know he had that rocky few minutes at the end, but I thought him and Bentancur were much better than Biss and Sarr they were in the first half. I thought in the first half, Biss and Sarr were pretty wasteful,
yeah,
and they struggled to sort of get a hold of the midfield. I mean, I think Gibbs White had far too much space in midfield, and Forest found it far too easy in transition against us. The defence really had no protection from the midfield. And it was pretty wasteful. Whereas in the second half, I think Hojberg slowed things down a little bit. And I know people call him a little bit boring and passive, and he hasn't got that sort of line breaking pass necessarily. But I thought Hojberg steadied the ship, and he just kept the ball moving nicely. Got into the wide areas where we were looking the most dangerous throughout the whole match. I thought centrally we were pretty poor. And we'll touch on Maddison. I don't think he had his best game again either.
yeah,
Um, but Werner and Johnson were looking dangerous, particularly Timo Werner, who we'll talk about later on, because it's become a big conversation of whether to sign him permanently.
yeah.
But I thought Ange's subs made the difference in that game, and it got us over the line.
Over the line, yeah,
Yeah, I don't think it was the most convincing game. I mean, we could have gone on to score a couple more maybe, but it was a sort of a quick double, wasn't it? That saw it out in the second half, and then from then on we looked pretty comfortable, other than sort of in the last few minutes when we got the jitters a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it was okay. It was an okay performance, but we just needed the points. I really couldn't care less how the performance was at this stage of the season.
if we can just go back and touch on what you said there with regards to the midfield, I think we should start
Mm,
with that because
yeah.
for me, and like you said, it's like I'm stealing all your words now. It's like you said, the game was based on the two midfields for me.
Mm,
Um, Now obviously we got we got some very tough fixtures coming up. We got Newcastle, we got Arsenal, we got Liverpool, we got Chelsea, we got all them lot coming up. Hojberg and Bissouma. Let's talk about them two first. Could we see a little switch between them two for the Newcastle game? And if so, would you like to see that switch happen?
I'm not opposed to it because, quite frankly, I mean, I think we've all been pretty patient with Bissouma on this channel and just the fan base in general. We've tried, but he's been terrible. I
Yeah,
can't even think of another way. He's been terrible since that post red card. He has not been able to string together 2 or 3 passes, let alone 2 or 3 good games. His positioning awful at the minute. He can't seem to make a 5-yard pass properly. Everything is short or wayward. Like his defensive awareness has gone down. I mean, he took a couple pot shots yesterday, which was nice. And again, I think Ange has definitely told people to start shooting outside the box to switch it up a little bit, rather than be so passive and side to side. But Bissouma just looks a shell of the player that we saw in the first few games of the season. And he's sort of allowed Hojberg to take back that place because Hojberg was just a lot more calm on the ball and he's just a lot more safe on the ball. Like I said, I know he gave it away a couple of times towards the end, which he's got a lot of stick for. But if it wasn't for Hojberg, I probably don't think we win that game because of the role
yeah,
he played in keeping the ball moving for us in possession. And he recycled it well. He got it out wide brilliantly. And listen, we know Hojberg is not the player that we're going to have in 6 going forward, but I'm starting to think now that neither of these players are going to be our 6 going forward. Probably not into next season. I know we've seen outlets from the club saying that the 6 has quite quickly become the priority signing for the window.
yeah.
And obviously the club have been linked with Onana from Everton for quite a while, or someone of that profile. And it looks like we may need it because I think it's a position we're really struggling in.
Do you think that the two midfielders, because let me first ask the question: do you think the two midfielders in terms of Bentancur and Hojberg are similar to Van der Ven and Romero in terms of they complement each other? Because when Sarr and Bissouma are playing, I think Sarr is usually good. Usually he's
Mm.
good, but last game he wasn't good, and I'm pretty sure the game before that, when it was West Ham, I think it was, he wasn't good at all. 2 games in a row he wasn't good, and for me, Bissouma versus West Ham was good, but it's just his inconsistency. If
Mm.
Hojberg and Bentancur was to start versus Newcastle, would you be happy with that?
I'll be fine with that. I mean, I
Yeah,
trust Ange, and I think it's one of those where I saw a point on Twitter, and it does make sense. It's that all 4 of those players, I would argue, are probably playing at a similar level in general right now. So it's not necessarily these 2 need to be the first name on the team sheet because their level is so much higher than the others comparatively that the drop off is massive. It's not. You know, you can pick and
yeah,
choose based on form, which I think is what Ange is doing now. It's form and its opponent. And I think Hojberg is just going to be a bit more safer against the big teams, maybe. I know Bissouma is so good against the big teams when it comes to getting us out of trouble against high presses and whatnot. And maybe against a Liverpool or an Arsenal, he will be better than Hojberg in that scenario.
yeah.
But against teams where we've got a lot of possession, at the moment, Hojberg is doing the job because he's so much safer on the ball, which I know is boring, but it's necessary at the minute.
I think right now the main problem with Tottenham is Bissouma. For me at least, it is the main problem with Bissouma. But we cannot deny that James Maddison, since coming back from his injury, has not been the same. Sorry, get 1 second. I'm just trying to get the Instagram up as well. I think we got Instagram up now. Also, we got a new someone new that we've never seen in the stream before. Who is this? Matthew Reville? I'm joking. Hello, Matt. How you doing, mate?
All right, boys.
All good, all good. Look,
Hello,
we were
mate.
just saying, that, like, for me, James Maddison is been very, very poor since coming back from injury. Personally, I don't think he's been the same at all, and it's annoying because he set his standard so high. For the first 10, 15 games, whenever before the injury. But we got Josh's view in regards to the midfielders, as he was saying that he wouldn't mind seeing Hojberg or Bentancur, or both of them start versus Newcastle. As I'm the same with him, I agree with him. Matt, what were your takes on those three midfielders versus
So I
versus
thought Hojberg and Bentancur were fantastic. Shadow. I thought Hojberg and Bentancur were fantastic when they came on.
Yeah.
I thought they were really good. Maddison, I don't think Maddison had a bad game yesterday.
Okay.
I don't think he had a bad game. I just think that it's disappointing by his own standards. He lacked that cutting edge, which in the first 3 months of the season, he was playing better balls. He was getting those incisive balls through. So I don't think he played badly. I think, I'm not going to lie, right? If he was the attacking midfielder for Sheffield United, you'd probably be sat there going, solid game, played really well. Yeah, I don't think he had a bad game. I don't think he was bad. I just don't think he's hit the heights that he was at before. So unfortunately, by our standards, we're going to start saying, oh, it's a poor game because he's not as good as he was.
Well, does anyone else think it's the inconsistencies as well of our other midfielders? Because I don't know if anyone else has noticed, Maddison's dropping really deep at the minute. Like he is constantly in between the centre backs where Bissouma used to be. Because I don't think that, I mean, I don't know if anyone's seen that chart where it was our most ball progressions was Romero by a million miles, and then Bentancur, Bissouma, so all of them were nowhere near to be seen comparatively. We're really struggling to move the ball from back to front at the minute. And I think Maddison's had to drop in so much recently to accommodate for the bad form and passing of the other midfielders as of late, that by the time we get the ball to the front, Maddison's already so deep. So he has to then get back into it. He just feels like he's constantly out of position, but he's trying to accommodate for the other midfielders.
Agree. Hang on, before we continue, let's just say hello to a couple people here. We got Ruben Conroy here, regular on the channel as well. Big up to yourself, Ruben, and Lewis McKenzie, who is back on the channel. Big up. If anyone hasn't subscribed yet to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Matt, Josh, and myself are all posting out so much content for you lot. So smash the subscribe button. And Instagram people, welcome to the channel. If you guys do want your comments to be read out, head over to YouTube so we can read them out. And if not, so we'll read out your comments, but unfortunately not be able to put it on the screen. Look, Josh, in regards to Maddison dropping deep, I totally agree with you there. I think he's playing in a similar role that Harry Kane was playing, but the difference to that was that Heung-Min was always getting at the end of the ball. He was getting always at the end of the passes. Now, for me, the reason why James Maddison hasn't been on it is because Bissouma, that number 6, has not been on his A game in general. Whether it would be Bissouma or whether it would be Bentancur, any one of them, when they're not on their game, Maddison was not on their game. Yesterday, I was talking to my mate. It takes him 2 seconds too late to pass the ball out to the attackers. And this is a nice way to move on to the attackers here. Matt, I want to get your opinion on Timo Werner. You know, like Josh said earlier to the people who are at the beginning of the show, Timo Werner is really splitting the decision in terms of, you know, whether to stay at Tottenham or whether we should, you know, sell him, or whether we should what's it called?
Activate the buy clause.
Yeah, activate the buy clause, or to give him back to his original club. What do you think?
I think yesterday was another solid performance. I thought it was good. But I think part of our issue at the moment is we've got too many players where you're like, yeah, he was good. Like, we don't have players setting the world on fire. We don't have a left winger where you finish the game and go, oh my God, he's absolutely torn them apart. Right? You're like, oh my God, that wing performance was unbelievable. Like that's what we don't have. And I think Timo Werner fits in with a number of our players at the moment where you watch their performance and the reality is it's okay, yeah, it was good. It was good. But that's it. It's never any better than that.
Yeah.
And it's not just Timo Werner. There's a number of players that fit into that mold at the moment. And the reality is, if our team is going to go to the next level, then we need this solid foundation of good players that we have. But we then need 2 or 3 game-changing players that are the next level.
Right.
So I think, like Lewis McKenzie says, I don't think Werner's a bad option to have as a great squad player. I don't think he's a bad option to have, and especially for 15 million in this day and age, is nothing.
It's context, isn't it? When you look at the price tag of what we can get him for as a squad player,
yeah, like
6 goal contributions in the last 8 games. I think for our system, he might not be worth that to someone else, but for our system and what we need from a winger, I think he's decent off the bench.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And like, look, if they're asking 30 million, I'd say no, but 15 million in this day and age.
I'll be honest as well. I'll be honest and say, I don't really think, I know this can be very controversial, but I don't think Timo Werner is the final package. We say this a lot about Brennan Johnson. I feel like Timo Werner, we can work on his shooting. There's nothing with Timo that we can't work on, that we can't develop on. He isn't like a I don't know, like a Giroud where his pace is just finished. Like, he's not like that. We can still develop his shooting. We can still develop his, end product.
Giroud didn't have pace in the first place.
Right,
we don't,
that's what I'm
need
saying.
Werner to shoot, though. We don't
couldn't
need him
help
to
him.
shoot in our system.
Yes, but you see his lack of the passing in his final third. His lack of decision making. That for me is a big factor in our wingers.
No,
Brennan Johnson and Timo Werner both need to know. Brennan Johnson's amazing at knowing where to be, when to be. When the cross is coming in from Werner, he knows where to be, Brennan Johnson. The problem with Timo is that multiple times Johnson puts in crosses and Timo isn't really there to put it in the back of the net.
Look, I think Werner is a solid squad player. I think he's good to have around. And that's the thing, like, for us to be successful next year, right? For us to finally maybe get some silverware, be it a League Cup or something, maybe a League Cup. But the reality is, for us to do that, we need this solid. So I feel at the moment that we, as a team, have a very solid backbone. We have a very good skeleton. We have a very solid backbone for the team. I feel like we have good players in every position. We could maybe do with some more cover at fullback.
Yeah. Just some competition, to be honest.
So now we've got Dragoos in. That's great, but I'd like us to get another centre back, so we have 4 rather than 3.
Yeah.
I'd like another centre back, although we do have that Vuskovic or whatever his name is.
Yeah, it's still another year though after next year, isn't it? We can't have him next season, can we?
Season
after we get him.
We get him when he's 18, don't we?
Yeah. So I think it's the season after next.
Yeah. So I'd probably like some cover at fullback. I'd like a centre back. I'd like a game-changing number 6.
That's what I think everyone wants. I think that's the one, isn't it? The big number 6. When you look at Rodri and Rice, we need that. We just need that.
I mean, it's not going to happen, but I want Joshua Kimmich.
I think everyone wants Joshua Kimmich. I love Joshua Kimmich as Spurs, but
can I ask you guys a question? And this is a big thing that Ange has said in the past. Sorry, before I do get to the question, I just want to answer a couple of these comments. We're in transitional period that are growing as a team. I think we need time. Agreed. 15 mil is a steal. Agreed. Werner gives us a out of every game, though. The amount of time he's free out wide to bring us forward is ridiculous. We need a 6 and world-class attacker, and I think we'll be meant. I really want Spurs to win a League Cup at least next season. Bergvall in the summer, remember. What do you rate Werner's performance? We'll get to that very, very soon. I'll be glad if we finish in top 4, but I don't think we're ready for Champions League with this lineup. Look, lads, what are your thoughts on if we get a similar player like Pape Sarr in terms of not the player itself? I'm saying in terms of how young he is and he's got a bright future. What if we got that in a number 6 role? Or
No,
would you guys rather get a ready-made 6 right now?
Look, I like our recruitment. I think our recruitment's been very good. We've brought in young players and everything like that. But for us to get to the next level, we have that solid backbone. We have a lot of young players. We have a lot of young players who are developing and everything like that. That's great. But we've already got that. We don't need to add more development players. Look, we got Lucas Bergvall coming in. We got Vuskovic coming in. Again, more young.
He looks serious, by the way. Lucas Bergvall. He looks unbelievable. I know he's
6.
He's an 8, I think.
Oh, he's an 8.
Like a box to box, yeah.
Yeah, you'd expect Maddison, Bergvall, and a 6.
Fair enough. Josh, what
as a midfield, you'd have Bergvall, Maddison, and a 6, right?
Well,
but I want a ready-made 6. I want a ready-made 6. I want someone who can come in who is already performing at the highest level.
Do we need a 6? I'm just putting this out there. I'm just putting that. 100%. Do we need a 6, or can we not play with 2 8s?
You can, but then you need a world-class 6 if you're going to play with 2 8s.
Okay. No, I'm just putting this out there so people out there.
But then if you play with 2 8s, you need a world-class 6 to play with 2 8s. You're not going to play with 2 8s, and also you're not going to drop James Maddison, are you?
Right. All right. Here's another one for you, lads. It's actually funny. I was talking to mates yesterday during the game, and obviously a big player we've been linked with in regards to Nottingham Forest is Morgan Gibbs-White. Now, I've always been a fan of Morgan Gibbs-White. I think Gibbs-White is a fantastic player. And I said I will have him at Tottenham. But then my friend said, well, where would you play him? That's where I kind of got stuck. Now I want to put the question to you, lads. Would you guys like to have Gibbs-White at Tottenham? And if so, where would he play for you?
Well, this is the thing. I like Gibbs-White. And is he a player that I would have wanted us to buy at one point? Yes. But I think we've got more important positions to buy for the money that they'll ask, because they'll ask for big money for Gibbs-White. We've got more important positions to buy. A lack of sort of, like you say, positions left to fill out, really. Is he going to start? Probably not. He's not going to start in one of the 8s, and he's probably not going to start box to box. You could start him on the wing, but I don't really know how he'd fare on the wing for us. You don't know that until he gets it, really. Has he got the qualities and attributes to do it? Probably. But I see him more as like a Grealish if he was to play on the wing than like a Werner, if you get what I mean, in terms of play style. You know, he's going to want to probably invert rather than go to the byline and cut back. I think it'd be a waste to ask someone Gibbs to do that. Like, I just think it's just not lined up for us to get someone like Gibbs-White right now.
I'm a fan of Gibbs-White. I think he's a fantastic player. But if we bought him and played him on the wing, I think it would be a waste of a player.
Yeah,
because that's not his best position, and I think we'd be wasting him if we bought him and played him on the wing. I'm not sure where he'd start in the team otherwise, and ultimately, I think that there are other positions that we are far more in need of. The way I see it, fullback, centre-back, number 6, and a world-class winger.
Yeah.
They're the positions we need. 4 or 5 positions. The centre-back is less important because we do have some cover, but I would ideally like to have 4 centre-backs rather than 3. Full-back, I think, is important because, see, you're saying
That's the
world-class
question.
winger. Maybe Nico Williams.
See, I like Nico Williams. It's going to be tough to get him out of Bilbao, though.
That's the
It's
question.
going to
Yeah,
be so tough.
exactly.
But then we're going to move now, and this is why we've had the reports this week that we're looking for exterior investment into the club. I think Levi's realised now with the squad we've built, we're going to have to start stepping into that 70, 80 plus bracket if we want to start actually upgrading the squad meaningfully. We can't keep shopping. I want us to keep shopping around that lower bracket for young players and developmental players. There's going to be some hits. There's going to be some misses. But if you want to move into that high level upgrade, you've got to go bigger. And Spurs haven't done that yet.
Potentially, but then I actually like Man City's recruitment.
Yeah,
because apart from Grealish, and I suppose they had Gvardiol last season, but apart from those two, they don't tend to spend 70, 80, 90 million.
No, it's pretty rare. They spend a lot of 40s.
It's always 40 or 50 million.
Yeah.
Always 40 or 50 million. But every single player in every position is 50 million. But then every single backup in every single position is also 50 million.
Yeah.
They consistently spend 40 or 50 million. And I like that because, yes, they spend a lot of money, but they do it with multiple players. They don't just, unlike Man United and Chelsea, who are like, yeah, I'm going to drop 110 million on this player.
Well, look, this is what football is starting to get into. I remember at the beginning,
I like Mitoma.
Mitoma's good.
Just responding to Alfie there. Yeah, I like Mitoma.
I remember when at the beginning of this of when we started this this channel, we were talking around 70 mil is now starting to be a lot of money, 80 mil, 90 mil, 100 mil. Now we're getting to the point where it's like teams are now starting to now need to get more money into the club to now be able to invest in the summer, in the in the January.
Well, they're talking about a Qatari investment for Tottenham, aren't they?
Exactly. And I look, I'm not the biggest fan of all this.
Billion.
I just don't like it. I'll be honest, though. I really hate it. I really hate where football's gone financially. I can't stand it.
I'm going to be honest. I hate where it's gone financially, but I'm not going to lie. Like, as much as I want to be like, okay, yeah, I don't like where it's gone financially, but then I hate a lot of things. I love football as a game, but I hate a lot of things about it.
Well, we've reached the ceiling now as a club, haven't we? We've reached the ceiling. We can't go any higher.
I hate the fact, right? Like, I'm sorry, players. Oh, it's such a little pansies game. Do you know what I mean? The way they roll around and they've hurt themselves. I'm not going to lie, right? You bump into a footballer in a dark alley at night and you punch him in the face. Right?
Yeah.
Right, I'm not going to lie. I got attacked. A few months ago, I got attacked and I was punched in the face 6 times.
Jeez.
Right? Unprovoked attack. The guy's like 60 years old as well. It's very weird. Right? But yeah, he punched me in the face 6 times. I'm not going to lie. I literally immediately just walked off. I let it be. I was like, don't want anything to do with this. Just walked away. Right? Yeah. And then I see footballers get the smallest tap on their ankle and they're rolling around. Like, I hate that. I hate the financial side. There's a lot of things about football that really upset me at the moment. But the reality is, if a Qatari investment team comes in, invests in the squad in a similar way that Man City have been invested in, and we start winning trophies, then quite frankly, I think I'll be okay with it. Because we're winning
the same. But if City get to 115 charges, did any of it really matter?
We're winning trophies that I haven't seen for 16 years.
I don't know. Look, I'm not one of the experts. I don't think any of us are really ones to really
No.
know so much about Tottenham's books and insides, outs, and all that.
I
Look,
just don't want state ownership. I don't mind investment. I just
mhm.
don't want state ownership. I never want to be owned by a state that could pick us up and drop us at any moment whenever they feel like it. That's all I want. Don't want for Spurs.
Yeah. No, look. Okay, right. I think we
I
should
agree with
move
that.
on. Let's move on
Yeah, I
to
mean, I've got to
um.
go back to work, lads. So
Right.
I'm gonna have to drop off early. First of
Right.
all,
Sick.
when we go into the comments, you're going to go into the comments soon. Jack Grealish, he is the guy on the left wing, by the way. He is my ideal signing for the summer at left wing as well. Whether we could get him or not, I don't know. And
Yeah.
before I sign off, Micky Van De Ven, what a man. God created him perfectly. If he gets metal hamstrings, he's actually going to become the best centre half in the world. He's got the biggest ceiling of any player in this team. He's a joke. Like, he is Jan
Mate.
Vertonghen on steroids. Okay, so I love
100%.
that
Mate,
man. But
I'm not
it's
gonna
been a
lie.
pleasure, lads.
I am.
Have a good one, Josh.
See you later, Josh, mate. I am a heterosexual male, but if
Okay.
Micky Van De Ven asked to marry me, I would immediately say yes.
Well, let's get straight into Micky Van De Ven. I think we waited long enough. Right, Matt. Look, I've been watching some videos on Sky Sports, and one of the videos of Sky Sports, they ranked the best centre backs in the league. They put Micky Van De Ven as 6th in the league. Now, don't ask, this was absolutely mental. But I want to ask you, Micky Van De Ven, is he Tottenham's most important defender? And what a goal he scored! What a goal, huh? Talk
Great.
about his performance.
Like, fantastic goal. Fantastic. Like, there are only 2 words to describe Micky Van De Ven.
Yeah,
Rolls Royce.
unreal.
He is so good. And, mate, I'm not going to lie, right? Who were the 6 defenders ahead of him? Obviously, Van Dijk. I can accept that.
Van Dijk, Saliba, they put Gabriel, they put Romero, and they put I think Konsa maybe, or I'm not too sure.
Concert, definitely not.
Yeah,
Gabriel, not sure. Saliba, I can understand. Saliba's very good. It pains me to admit it because he's an Arsenal player. But Saliba is very good. So Romero was ahead of him.
yeah. Which is interesting because Matt, that's been a debate with regards to us Tottenham fans in terms of who's been better. Like, I don't know. For me, I think it's straightforward that Van De Ven.
I'm not gonna lie. I think Romero's been very good this season. I think Romero's been very good again. But I'm not gonna lie. Like, I mean, it's close, but I think Van De Ven could be better.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm not going to lie, right? Another 2 or 3 years, and I think that give it another 2 or 3 years because Van Dijk is 30 now.
Van Dijk is, I think 31. No, 32. He's 32.
He's 32.
Yeah, that's big. That's big difference, especially for centre back. 32 is not young.
No, and he's 33 this year.
Yeah.
So the reality is, I reckon, give it another 2 years. Obviously, Saliba's going to be in there. He's still very good. But give it another 2 years, and I honestly reckon that Van De Ven will have overtaken Van Dijk.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like,
I could see that.
Everyone, like, Van Dijk is undisputed the best centre-back in the league. Everyone agrees with that. Everyone says Van Dijk's the best.
Maybe, I don't think maybe not Micky Van De Ven better than Van Dijk. I think he could get very close, but I don't think better. I think Van Dijk, he's outrageous.
I'm saying 2 years.
It depends.
Nah, if you look at his pace and positioning, like, next level.
Yeah.
Look at his pace and positioning, next level. And in all honesty, that's one of the things that makes Van Dijk so good. Like when he was faced one-on-one against Erling Haaland the other week, and Van Dijk, he kept side on. He was tracking back and he forced Haaland wide. Haaland got a shot away, but it was straight at the keeper because he couldn't do anything with it. Like that is one of Van Dijk's biggest strengths. Yes, he's very good in the air. He's very dominant. Very aerial. Yeah, he's very aerially dominant. But one of his biggest strengths is just like it's almost impossible to dribble past him.
I'm just trying to. By the way, Lewis McKenzie, Josh is from Spurs Live, as well as Matt is. We're all here from Spurs Live. Look, Matt.
But, I honestly reckon another 2 or 3 years, and I think that people will be talking about Van de Ven in the same way that they talk about Van Dijk at the moment.
I hope you're right. I'll be honest. I'll be honest. I hope you're right, and I genuinely think Van de Ven's ceiling is probably the highest in terms of anyone from Tottenham. But look, Alfie says both Rich and Timo are good players, but they aren't good enough to change the game. So I think we need a player for game-changing moments if we want to win a trophy.
That's exactly what I said earlier. I said our squad is good.
Yeah,
but we now need players at that next level.
Matt, don't you think though that Brennan Johnson or Timo Werner is a bit of a waste starting in terms of Kulusevski off the bench is not the same as a Brennan off the bench or the same as Timo off the bench? Would you not want to utilize a quick, fast attacker off the bench? For me, I think Kulusevski starts ahead of Brennan, and we bring in Brennan in the middle of the game to boost that attacking.
Yeah, potentially. Then at the same time, it's difficult to say, but then we actually had a much faster start than we have done previously. And I think that partially was down to Timo Werner and Brennan Johnson.
Exactly, yeah.
So you say you want the impact, but then do you want a faster start where maybe we can get 2 early goals in a game and then Kulusevski can come on and just soar it up when we've already got the goals instead of chasing the goals? So it's difficult to say. But again, this is where you need the game-changing players. So we do need Nico Williams. Matoma, Matoma's very good, but then I feel like Matoma's dropped off a little bit in the last 3 or 4 months.
I haven't heard much of Matoma, I'll be honest. I haven't heard much of him. But
No, I feel he's dropped off a bit in the last 3 or 4 months. He has been very good, but there seems to have been a little bit of a drop-off. We do have Manor Solomon to come back, who could come good.
I've been slightly skeptical now about Solomon, I'll be honest, because, I think he's very different compared to all of our other wingers. And I don't know if that's a benefit or if that's a negative part.
It's possible, but I'm not glad he's been out for so long.
Yeah.
When he comes back, he's either going to struggle to get back into form or he's going to explode and we're going to be like, oh, amazing. Look what we've been missing.
Exactly.
Like, it's going to go one of 2 ways.
It's going to be a hit or miss.
But no, I want Rafael Leao.
That's no way we're getting him. No way we're getting him.
But he's had a drop off in form.
Yeah.
But he is very good. I'm trying to think of other wingers.
Kvaratskhelia has also dropped off by form by quite a lot.
Chiesa, maybe.
Chiesa, not being the same for me. I'll be honest, he's not been the same for me. You know who I wouldn't mind? What's his name? He was in my head for a second ago. I forgot what his name was.
What club's he from?
No, he's from that league. Hang on. I think it's the. It's not the Russian league. What's the league with all the Fenerbahce and all that?
Turkish.
Is it Turkish league? Let me see. don't know what his name was. He's young. He's exciting. I can't. I don't know. I don't. Whatever. It is what it is. Look, I think with wingers, in terms of how we sign wingers, it has to be very much associated to Ange's football. For me, I'd love to have Jack Grealish, but the perfect player, the perfect winger for Ange Postecoglou for me is Jeremy Doku. I think he's the perfect winger for Ange Postecoglou. He goes on the byline. He's quick on the feet. He gets to the end. I think he is perfect. We'd never sign him in a million years. Matt, let's quickly do some some play ratings.
So I've got
yeah.
a list here of wingers in the Turkish league.
Yeah, go on.
So we've obviously got Tadic and Zaha.
Right, none of them.
We've got Hakim Ziyech.
Nah.
We've got Enis Bardi.
No, not him. He's very young. I think he's like 19 years old.
Okay, so we've got Milot Rashica, Emre Kilic, Sander van der Streek.
No. What the hell are these names?
Edin Visca, Mortada Benuanes, Baris Alper Yilmaz, Halil Akbanar, Alassane Ndao.
Hang on. I'm seeing if it's here.
Mamadou Fall.
He might not even be playing there anymore, mate. He might have moved.
Mate, this is going to really annoy me. I want to know who you're talking about.
I really want to. I don't know. I don't know where he is. I'm looking on Transfer Market right now. Whatever. But point is that I think with wingers, it's very it's very Ange Postecoglou style.
How old is he?
I think he's 19 or 20 years old.
So I've got Ben Doak.
Nope. I need to see by.
Johan Bakayoko. Gianluca Prestiani.
No.
Lamine Yamal.
You know what? I'll take Lamine Yamal.
Matthias Sule.
Where are you seeing this?
I'm looking at a list of young wingers.
I don't know. I can't find it.
This is.
Let's quickly answer some of these these comments on Instagram. Let's see what we got. Who we got here? Big up to everyone from Instagram who's joined us in today's live stream. Is it Killicoy? Is it Killicoy? No, it's not. They just wrote it in a chat. I literally saw his highlights the other day. Yes, I think it's this guy. Let me just see. This guy. I saw his highlights on Twitter. He looks pretty decent.
Semi-Collectoy.
Yes, he looks pretty decent.
I'm not gonna lie. I hate.
Well done, Lewis. Cheers, mate. I appreciate it. Look, let's yes, he is unreal. But again, he's one for the future, not for now. But Killicoy could be unbelievable. Matt, let's quickly do who was your man of the match for the game? Tottenham versus Nottingham. I think there's only one man to give it to.
Who?
Van De Ven.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. And if you had to give a second man of the match, just because I think there's a couple other players we could give this second man of the match to.
Porro.
I was going more for a Hojberg or Bentancur, but sure, fair enough. Porro's fine.
Hojberg and Bentancur were good, but they didn't play the whole game. I thought Porro had a decent game and he scored our third goal.
Oh,
So
yeah, true. He did score the third goal. He did score the third goal, and it was a beautiful goal. What was your best goal? What was your favourite goal out of all three of them?
the first one.
The first one. Yeah, no, not the own goal. The own goal was crap. I was like, the own goal was crap. What are you on about?
No, Van De Ven's. Van De
Yeah.
Ven's.
By far. And why, last thing I've got to say as well, Matt, why are they not shooting? Why are they not shooting? Bissouma actually did take a couple shots, fair enough to him, but why are the players not shooting? What's happening? Lack of confidence, you think?
I don't know. Like, I don't think there were that many opportunities. Like, I do get what you're saying, but the defense seemed to be pretty well drilled. So it wasn't like it opened up for a shot. Like, yeah, Bissouma had a few shots, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, we could take more shots from outside the box.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough, fair enough. All right, lads, this has been the match reaction, Tottenham Hotspur versus Nottingham Forest. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed that match reaction. Make sure to smash that subscribe button, drop a like on this video, and Matt, once again, thank you so much for joining me, and we will see you in the next one. Come on, you Spurs. Bye-bye.
Boys.